Hey everybody, we are back. Got my friend Connie Ann here, and we're going to be talking about some cool stuff today. Goal achievement and the three biggest mistakes that you're making and you don't even know it. It's what's sabotaging your goals. So welcome Connie Ann, great to have you here. Let's get rocking and rolling.
Hey, James, thank you so much for having me here. I'm super excited. Yes, goals. So important and so misunderstood. The
Agreed.
number one thing that people got to do to get to where they want to go. So I'm excited. Where do you
Fair.
want to start?
Let's start. Okay, tell us why. Why are they the most important thing to get people? And why are maybe specific goals? Because we all hear, specific, smart, and all that stuff. Why are specific goals or goals in general so important versus, well, I want more money and I want to have, a nice car and my wife and this and that. Why are really specific and powerful, clear goals so important?
Well, I like to I like to associate things with food for anybody that's watched any of my other trainings. So a goal is anything really you're going after, anything that you've decided that you want. And so say we go to a restaurant and we want a steak and lobster. You go in and you sit down and you're like, I'm hungry, bring you something. And the waitress is like, well, what do you want? It's like, I don't know. I don't care. I mean, I'm here. It's a restaurant. I'm doing this. Just bring me something to eat. And
Mm,
you end up with liver and onions, right? And you're like, oh, well, I didn't want that. It's like, well, then you should have asked for what you wanted. And uh, it's a little goofy and funny. However, on a serious note, almost everybody lives their life that way.
hmm.
And when we have that visual, because most of us have gone to a restaurant and we order food, we know what we're getting because we asked for it. Hopefully, we're getting it. We have the faith and the belief that it's going to come because we were very specific. If you want a steak and you want it medium rare and you want it with teriyaki sauce and you can get really specific about it, why are you getting out of bed in the morning and not knowing what you want, what you're ordering, what you're working towards? And so if you don't ask, you don't get.
Fair.
And
Yes, true. It's so
you
true.
gotta be specific. If you are, and you talked about your wife, if you're a partner, somebody you want to hold hands and walk down the beach, and maybe you want them to have certain beliefs or what. If you don't care what they look like, you could get a very athletic person, or you could get a couch potato. So we need to be specific. So if you get up in the morning, you're like, oh, I'm just going to see what this day brings me. That's like going to a restaurant and saying, whatever you bring me, I'll be happy with. And then we end up being satisfied and then we feel stuck because we're working on a business, we're building towards something and it's not happening. Why is it not happening? Because you didn't place your order. You told the waitress, just bring me food. And she went back to the kitchen. She went,
Got
get a
something.
load of this
They're okay.
person.
Well, bring them
They
whatever
just
you want.
So until they decide, let's not do anything. And so that's what we're doing with the universe. That's what we're doing with our lives. So that's why goals are so, so important. Um,
Fair.
and also it's measurable then. If you want a red Ferrari, now you know what it costs, you know where to go buy it, you know that you can test drive it. So you
True.
kind of
True.
get that feeling of what it feels like to be in that vehicle. And now you have what we call a future memory. You can go house shopping. You can go on Sundays to open houses, at least we can where I live, and walk into a $5 million house that day and imagine living there and see your family in there. And now that's a goal. Now you're excited about it. And guess what? Now you're going to work harder on your dreams. Now you're going to get out of bed before noon and get dressed and get going. And that is the power of a goal. Without that clarity, nothing happens.
I
Does that make
like that.
sense?
It does, and it's even, as you know, I deal with a lot with the subconscious and neuropsychology, and it's like if you don't tell your subconscious mind what you want, well, how the heck's it gonna go get it for you? And if you don't tell the universe what you want, I want more money, I want to make more money, and yet you find $1 on the floor, find 25, find a quarter on the floor. Well, great, you've got your goal, great, but was it really the goal you wanted? Probably not. Probably not. So you raise a
Yeah.
really, really great point, my friend. A really great point, actually.
It and it's true. So people can relate to that, and I want it to sink into their mind the next time they're in a restaurant and ordering their food. Do you get up every morning and know what you're working towards? Financial freedom is great. Happiness is amazing. Being unconditionally loved is so amazing.
Hmm.
Go for it. Do it. Absolutely. I wish everybody on the planet to have those things, but specifically for you, what is that? What is your dollar amount? And if you want a $5 million house, your monthly income amount cannot be $2,000 either. Now they have to be congruent. So the first really big mistake we were talking about just before we came on here was not having the clarity. You got to be clear what is financial freedom to you. So for me, it might be $80,000 a month, and for you, James, it might be $100,000 a month, or for somebody else, it might be
Sure.
$5,000 a month. But you gotta actually name it. You can't just say, "Bring me money," because, like you said, and I had a couple that did that. Their goal was just a few extra dollars a month, and I said, "Have any of you stopped on the sidewalk in the last 2 weeks and just, like, found a quarter or found some money?" And the dude was like, "Yeah, actually, I found a $5 bill on the ground." I'm like, "There it is. Ask and you shall
You have it.
receive."
Exactly. Yeah.
He's like, "Well, that's not what I meant." I'm like, "Hey, so"
Well, the universe doesn't know
Well,
that. Your brain doesn't know that. Your go-getter system, which is your reticular activating system, your RAS, doesn't know that. It goes, okay, more money. Here's $1. It's 25 cents. Here's maybe $10. But still, was that what you meant or not? Probably not.
yeah, exactly, and, I didn't mean liver and onions. Well, then you should have said that.
Ironically, because of my gluten intolerance, if I go to a restaurant and they bring me liver and onions, it's probably edible versus they bring me bread and pasta and be like, this is exactly what I needed. But moving on from
Yeah,
there, let's talk about the three
yeah.
mistakes as well.
Oh, yeah,
What's
absolutely.
mistake number one? Let's really get into it. What is the biggest mistake people make when setting goals that causes them not to hit their goals?
Well, the first one is what we've just talked about, that clarity, the clarity in the goal. Gotta have that clarity. You gotta be able to close your eyes and see it right there in front of you. And there is a really short imagination activation process I do with people when I talk to them that just launches them into their future self and see
Hmm.
themselves standing there or driving that car, being on that beach or whatever. You gotta have that clarity, right? If you cannot see it in your mind, you can't hold it in your hand,
Yeah.
you can't know if you're
Important.
working towards it. You can't see those results, and that's what stuckness comes from a lot of the
Mm,
time, is
true.
not having that movement forward. The second thing is telling people about your dreams. If you have a big lofty dream of earning $1 million a year and you tell most of your buddies and friends, they're going to go, "Pfft, right. Oh, I started a network marketing business. I'm now going to sell XYZ." They're like, nobody makes money doing that. I did that before. My mom did that. My uncle did that, blah, blah, blah. They all failed. What are you doing
Mhm.
wasting your life? And you give up on your dream. So the second biggest mistake is telling everybody about it. Um, and yes, we want to tell people because we want them to be our customers, but also that negativity, those well-meaning people, their negativity is going to sabotage,
Mm.
and that is really super damaging. And gotta stay away from that. So being really careful
True. True.
who you tell your dreams to. Um, and a lot of times when they're like that, James, it's because of their own lack of confidence.
Sure.
That
Sure.
person, can you imagine if that person has been in 5 network marketing companies and they failed each time and you do it and you succeed? How are they gonna feel? How's that gonna make them look? And you can't care. You
No.
gotta go after your
Correct.
dreams. Yeah,
You do.
such a it's probably one of the biggest mistakes. Even 2 weeks ago, I talked to a lady and she had this big goal, and I'm like, "Let's do it. Let's go. I know you can because XYZ." And we talked about it in a very real way about like, is there a market for it, and what can she charge for it, and who can she sell it to? And it was her own business model.
Hmm.
And 100%, James, I tell you this to this day, it is 100% doable. But she told her husband,
Oh God.
and when we got on the call, she's like, "Oh, he's the most supportive husband," and then yeah, no, all of a sudden. So they're well-meaning, and no, not always.
Well, and fair, and that it pisses me off because there's been lots of incredible women that I've been I've been wanting to help and that have come to me for support with their business and growing their business, helping other people. etc., and going big. And for whatever, even if it's their business, like, okay, my business is this, I want to invest something in my business. Let me check with my husband. I'm like, why? It's your business, first of all. So that's another thing. But I'm like, he's probably going to say no, because I don't know what it is about husbands and when wives ask versus tell, hey, I want to do this. Is important. Just so you know, I'm doing this. If you really want to share, sure, but tell them, not ask. It's your business. You know. Anyways,
Yeah.
end of rant. It pisses me off. Yeah, when they ask the husband, and I don't know what it's about some men, if it's ego or lack of self-esteem or something. But yeah, when they say no, it really pisses me off, because they're literally limiting potentially the most important person in their life.
Yeah, I agree, and I think you and I could probably talk for 3 hours on examples of that. And it goes both ways. I've had men whose their wife is on that side of it, the
Fair.
what are you doing, and all, all of the things we've already spoken about. And sometimes it's maybe better not say anything at all until the results are there.
True.
For myself, just an example from my side, because I am a paradigm shift specialist, I coach network marketing business people to get to where they want to go. You know, that money, when you start a company, they're like, oh, you can make this much money a month. And that's why people join in. I actually help them get there. That's
Right
what
on.
I do. I help them get there. So when somebody is starting their own business, one of the first things I caution them on is what we're talking about. Be careful who you tell your dreams to. Um, and maybe you don't tell anybody until you have the car or until you've earned so much money, so you have the tangible proof to prove to them. When I talked to my family about what I did, my brother got up and left the room.
Interesting.
He
And
didn't. He does,
again,
like, whatever. That's
as you've experienced, I tell
woo-woo
people to be
stuff, but
careful, because
it's not.
well, and you have to be careful, because sometimes your family or the people closest to you, and I've experienced it, are some of the biggest ones that'll limit you or not support you, and it's fascinating.
Mhm.
Fascinating. Number three. We haven't got number three yet, right? What's number three?
Inspiring goals. An inspiring goal. Something that inspires does not expire. Something you're going after you've never done before. You don't know how to do it.
Hmm.
If you told people, they would tell you you're being ridiculous. And I want to tell you to get your head in the clouds. Dream, go big. Like, go. Like, if you want to climb Mount Everest, climb Mount Everest. Once you know you want that $5 million house, you want that Lamborghini, you want to go to a village in Africa and bring them clean water, then we can break it down into how much product a month do you need to sell.
Fair.
Let's start with wherever you're at. If you're at $2,000 a month, let's get you to 5. Let's get you to 10. But you are going to Africa to bring that clean water. That is where you're going.
Love it. Love it.
So
Love it.
get your head in the clouds, and then we'll bring it down and we'll eat that elephant one bite at a time. But that's the inspiring thing. Nobody wants to get up in the morning and work their tail off to pay rent.
Exactly. It's such an uninspiring. Exactly. I love that. So be
Yes.
inspired in
Yeah.
something that won't expire. I love that. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love
Set
that.
dreams that inspire, not expire, and inspire you, for you, about you, what you want to do with your life, whatever you want to do, be, and have. If it's in a person's heart to have, James, they can have it.
I
They
agree.
didn't get that dream in their heart, and then some other force is gonna go, "You can't have it. I fooled you." No, that's not it at all, right? If you want it, if it's in your heart, if you've had it for a while and you know if you quit what you're doing and you go to a 9 to 5, you go back to corporate, you're gonna wake up one day and you still have that dream,
Ugh,
that is meant
exactly.
there for you to do. Go do
Agreed.
it.
Agreed.
Absolutely. 3
Agreed,
biggest
my friend.
mistakes, if you turn those around, man, people wake up in the morning so lit on fire that they will just tell people to lead, follow, or get the heck out of my way. I'm coming through. I'm doing this. I'm getting this. This is going to happen. Watch me
Boom.
go.
And that
Boom.
is a great note to leave us off at. I love that. I love that. I love that. Perfect. This has been awesome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for doing what
Thank
you
you.
do and helping people really achieve their goals. And here's to your wild success and everyone's wild success too. And reach out to Connie if you need anything, have any questions.
Thank you. Thank you so much, James. It's been a pleasure. Everybody, get your head in